Alright, what's up? We are in our first game, first match. Um, it's a pretty fine hand. Being able to bone crush something. Um, so, normally I would start with a Mutavault on one, and then I can attack on two. Um, and I think that's what I'm going to do. It also hides our strategy. Um, we might be mono black, so we just have to hope it's control. Whatever. Actually, I think this is probably a fine start, starting with Mutavault here against Control. This would be a good test too, because Control is kind of a miserable matchup. Um, so we'll smack him for two. Mutavault already showing its things. Um, what we can expect is probably a Teferi on turn three. So we need to get our opponent to a position where they cast a Teferi on three. Another shock. So this tells me, um, so they shock twice, which means they might want to Azorius Charm the Mutavault. I don't think they run a lot of control magic, so we're going to switch it up, and we're going to play one of our Rabble Masters. If it resolves, um, which I suspect it will, obviously it did. So now they're going to have to take the one hit, um, and untap, and if they Teferi the Goblin Rabble Master, we already have the token. Okay, so they use an Azorius Charm on the token, which tells me that they're going to... If they Teferi, then we just bounce it. I mean, we just play it again, hit them with the token. Oh, okay. So they feel to ruin me. Which is funny, because that's actually another red source. So even if we draw a colorless source, we can Torbran. And right now we actually have nothing to fear. Um, if I play a second Goblin Rabble Master, we pop him for 6. And then they untap and Supreme Verdict. So instead, I'm just going to Loyalist now. We'll get in um, basically the same amount of damage, but not put our Rabble Master in jeopardy. And we can Lightning Strike, Bone Crusher. We have essentially 5 damage in hand. Opponent's already at 8. If they Supreme Verdict, we Lightning Strike end a turn. Rabble Master, put the pressure on him again. Alright, so cast out. That's even better. I mean, they cast out our Rabble Master, and I think they're just dead. Alright, so 3 to the face. Actually, they're not. Well, Torbran is lethal. If we get a land for Torbran. We did not. And that's not even enough for Embercleave. Um, so we're one short no matter what we do. So I think we play another Rabble Master just to force them to Supreme Verdict, take the turn off, and then we just kill them with literally any card in our hand. Well, not quite literally any card in our hand, but so it's pretty awkward. I mean, if we would have drawn the land at any time, we would have easily had it, but we still had it fairly easily. So now we can see, let's sort this by CMC. Um, see how we're going to board. So Mortars is going to be out first. Embercleave is probably going to be out. Torbrands are actually pretty good because they usually stick around in this matchup. The worst card is probably Lightning Strike, honestly. Wild Slash we use to kill walkers a lot of times. So for sure we want our Scab Clans. the Rekindling Phoenixes aren't that great in this matchup either. So realistically, I might just do a 2-for-2 swap. Swap these two out, keep the strikes in. Especially as loose as they were shocking. So um, I don't like not having 4 Eidolons in my sideboard right now, but we'll see if I can still carry it without it. Um, the only thing I can suspect they may have post board would be I don't know if they run Thing in the Ice, but I'm just gonna run this back, keep it semi-light, um, and see if we can get across the finish line. Well, let's move that over. Yeah, it's a pretty good hand. No, nothing to do on one. Carry Zev is probably going to get met with more than likely Teferi. It'll probably resolve on 2, get Teferi'd on 3, which means we'll Rabble Master kill the Teferi on R3. But so our opponent went to 6 land. Not ideal, but we got our 5 for Glorybringer. Glorybringer in this matchup isn't very great. When I used to have the Eidolons in the sideboard as well, and Fries, I would just cut the Glorybringers because trying to resolve and attack with a 5 CMC card was usually pretty tough. So, double blue. I don't mind seeing that first start. A second Rabble Master, I also don't mind seeing that. It's important to remember when you're playing these matchups against Control to not run into a Supreme Verdict head on. But our opponent doesn't have white right now, so they're not threatening a charm. So we're going to go to combat. The only thing he can do is really bounce it, but it's too late now because we're already attacking. He could have had the, I can't think of what it's called, but the adventure creature. So I'm going to go with a castle here. I generally try to hide my Ramanap runes when I can. Now I think about it, I've been doing too much talking. I should have played Rabble pre-combat, but whatever. Hopefully that 1 damage doesn't make a difference. Opponent's still not on white. So he's actually 2 turns away from a Supreme Verdict because he needs double white. So we're just gonna jam here and punish the living poop out of him. Or maybe his poop's dead, I don't know. But that's one of the good things about this deck is if our opponent stumbles, they just take a beating. As you can see, our opponent's already at 8. We have 2, 4, 6, 10 damage in hand. Okay, well, unfortunately that was kind of a non-game. Didn't get to see a whole lot, but let's go on to match 2.